Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Yeah.
So we are same place as last time, down by the Williamsburg Bridge. You can see this nice space. Actually, this is number 1 Domino Square, and it's where the Domino Sugar Factory used to be. So I guess that you can see down along where we were reading, there were places where you could, where the ships come up and they moor up, and then the big cranes unload them. So anyway, it's interesting. They just transformed this whole area into like a sort of hangout area and built this big building here and over beside us for people to live in. But anyway, we come here and use it for a nice place to read Bhagavatam. Yes?
Canto 4, chapter 25, text 40. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Text 40. The woman continued, according to authorities, a householder life is pleasing not only to oneself but to all the forefathers, demigods, great sages, saintly persons and everyone else. A householder life is thus beneficial. Purport. According to the Vedic system, when one is born in this material world, he has many obligations. He has obligations to the demigods of the sun and moon, King Indra, Varuna, etc., because they are supplying the necessities of life. We receive heat, light, water, and all other natural amenities through the mercy of the demigods. We are also indebted to our forefathers, who have given us these bodies, paternal property, intelligence, society, friendship, and love. Similarly, we are indebted to the general public for politics and sociology. And we are also indebted to lower animals such as horses, cows, asses, dogs, and cats. In this way, as soon as one is born in this material world as a human being, he has so many obligations and is bound to repay all these obligations. If he does not repay them, he is further entangled in the process of birth and death. The Griha Maidi, however, who is overly addicted to material things, does not know that if he simply takes shelter at the lotus feet of Mukunda, he is immediately freed from all obligations to others. Unfortunately, a Griha Maidi does not have any interest in Krishna consciousness. Prahlad Maharaj says, Mate na Krishna Parata Swato va Mito Abhipadyeta Griha Vratanam. Bhagavatam 7.5.30. A Griha Vrata is the same as a Griha Maidi. One who takes sex life to be supreme finds action in Krishna consciousness confusing, either due to his own personal consideration or due to his having taken instructions from others or conferring with them. He becomes addicted to sexual intercourse and cannot indulgence and cannot act in Krishna consciousness. Yeah, I guess it's just along the same lines of what we were saying previously, that if you're attached one way, you're not going to be able to be attached the other way, because one's about possession and enjoyment and the other one's about detachment and renunciation.
Okay, text 41. My dear hero, who in this world will not accept a husband like you? You are so famous, so magnanimous, so beautiful, and so easily gotten. It's interesting. It's like textbook, classic, I guess, charms, for a lady. If you want to capture a man, you just need to flatter him. But the last line really, sounded a little like a bit of a diss, or what do you call it? Like a dig. She says, and you're so easily gotten, which means basically you're cheap and loose kind of thing. Purport. Every husband is certainly a great hero to his wife. In other words, if a woman loves a man, that man appears very beautiful and magnanimous. Unless one becomes beautiful in the eyes of another, one cannot dedicate his whole life to another. The husband is considered very magnanimous because he gives as many children to the wife as she likes. Every woman is fond of children. Therefore, any husband who can please his wife by sex and give her children is considered very magnanimous. Not only does the husband become magnanimous by begetting children, but by giving his wife ornaments, nice food, and dresses. He keeps her completely under submission. Such a satisfied wife will never give up the company of her husband. Manu Samhita recommends that to keep a wife satisfied, the husband should give her some ornaments, because women are generally fond of home ornaments, dresses, children, etc. In this way, the woman is the center of all material enjoyment. I'm very blessed because my wife is so simple. She doesn't care about dresses, doesn't care about ornaments. She just cares about Krishna. And she also still thinks I'm a great hero, isn't it, darling? Now, we've come to a point, exciting point. Not the helicopter point, but I swear it was very quiet here when we first said it. And anyone who watches this regularly knows we always say that. So, the next paragraph is one of the most controversial paragraphs in all of Srila Prabhupada's books. So here we go.
In this regard, the word Yatam is very significant. A man is always famous for his aggression towards a beautiful woman, and such aggression is sometimes considered rape. Although rape is not legally allowed, it is a fact that a woman likes a man who is very expert at rape. No, but I thought we broke this down, that because it says a man who's always famous for his aggression towards a woman, so I took it like someone who is woos you, you know, and like really pursues you.
We discussed similar thing previously. We went through this, I think, with our Grihastha group before, didn't we?
I don't know.
Pretty sure. So, any thoughts? Yeah. So, I mean, there is a lot of conversation around this, and predominantly the answers are that the way that we would understand this terminology, of course, derogatorily, it's very heavy, and it's not that, women are just walking around waiting for some stranger to come up and, you know, rape them. That's not the idea. But as you were mentioning, we discussed before that there is a tendency or a way of playing between partners or prospective partners, that you play hard to get, and the man is like, no, I want you, I'll save you, I'll do anything, I'll come in and I'll take you, and or passionate scenes of where a man is kind of aggressive in his desire to be with the partner, and so it's like, it's a lot of passion, but the derogatory isn't there. It's more like passion, I think, is the word, passionate, and it can come across as aggressive, but it's a passionate aggression that is wanted. Anyway, if you know, you know, and if you don't, you don't. But what can happen is a lot of times this is taken as very derogatory, and but Prabhupada is also often speaking in older English, and anyway, a few thoughts there. We're open to conversations as long as they're positive and productive. Okay, we'll continue reading. Text 4A2. O mighty armed, who in this world will not be attracted by your arms, which are just like the bodies of serpents? Actually, you relieve the distress of husbandless women like us by your attractive smile and your aggressive mercy. Again, that word aggressive comes up. We think that you are traveling on the surface of the earth just to benefit us only. So this is, every man's false ego's dream to hear someone saying this. Oh, we all live for you. You're so handsome. You're God's gift to women, kind of thing. Purport. When a husbandless woman is attacked by an aggressive man, she takes his action to be mercy. Okay. more awkwardness. A woman is generally very much attracted by a man's long arms. A serpent's body is round and it becomes narrower and thinner at the end. The beautiful arms of a man appear to a woman just like serpents, and she very much desires to be embraced by such arms. Well, the point being that yes, and yeah, of course that's there. Of course, when you describe it like that exactly, it's sort of like, sounds like, Prabhupada is saying that women like to play with serpents, snakes. Arms are like snakes, and they want to be wrapped around by snakes. But I don't think that is the idea. Just that a man's lengthy arms can bind her up. I mean, I don't read trashy novels, never have, but I can imagine that these are the kind of things that would be said in like his long serpent-like arms wrapped around me, pulled me tighter to his body, like that. Of course, that is not the topic of our discussion today, so I will move on.
Next paragraph, the word Anata Varga is very significant in this verse. Nata means husband, and A means without. A young woman who has no husband is called Anata, meaning one who is not protected. As soon as the woman attains the age of puberty, she immediately becomes very much agitated by sexual desire. It is therefore the duty of the father to get his daughter married before she attains puberty. Otherwise, she will be very much mortified by not having a husband. Anyone who satisfies her desire for sex at that age becomes a great object of satisfaction. It is a psychological fact that when a woman at the age of puberty meets a man and the man satisfies her sexually, she will love that man for the rest of her life, regardless who he is. Thus, so-called love within this material world is nothing but sexual satisfaction.
Seems to go from one controversial purport to the next.
Oh no. I can understand from the point, because I have family going way back.
From the point of what?
I can understand, I'm saying to an extent, what's been said here about protection of a woman and shelter and that, and then you just have one person that you're focused on. Obviously it's controversial, like when I was at school, other cultures, without getting too explicit, but other cultures apart from my Hindu upbringing, I remember when I finished A-levels, it may have even been the last day or two, whatever, so you're breaking up for the summer, and then I was going to university, like that, walking home and then coming.
So that's what, 16, 17 years old?
18.
18.
And then you're so I was walking home, I think, and then I saw one girl who I used to go to school, secondary school, but she dropped out, and she was pushing her baby, pushed her, and she had another kid on the way, and her husband, who I thought was her granddad, was with her, at least her dad, if not her granddad. It was just like, whoa, It was really, and I remember when that marriage was arranged, and she brought a photo of the man into the college and school, even the Western teachers, at least from it wasn't in my cultural upbringing, but another culture, but for the Western teachers, they were horrified. They just couldn't believe what they were seeing in the photos, that this is the man who I think was older than her mother, because all the women are young in that culture, so the man that she was marrying was older than her mother, and that was just shocking. It was like, what is going on, There was more than one friend like that ended up like that. And that gives it a bad name. I feel the point that what Prabhupada's making here which is about protection and just bequeathing someone, and done in a way that it's not like a sex slave, as it were, and just treated a certain way, and that there's a certain, it doesn't last long in Kali Yuga, but there is a certain purity to it from when it started, if that makes sense. That type of mood of, now you'd see it as, what about freedom, what about choice, what about the lady being able to grow up and have her own mind, and so it's different as life moves on, but there's different spectrums of it, for sure. It's different. How cute that puppy is! Oh
and
my God!
Then there's always the fact that even something may be good, but can be misused, and abused, and it's like, I'm not saying, that is necessarily so good, but the connection of someone to another person can save so much rampant madness and distress in general if people are connected at an early age, and then they go on. Of course, growing up as a young Western person, when I heard of this type of thing, I thought, that's appalling, just the general principle. What to speak of, I never even really heard about the younger one marrying a much older one, just even if they were the same age and seemed to be properly suited. The fact that someone would disregard my personal right to make a choice seemed like,
it's a cultural thing.
Yeah, that's so appalling. And but then later, you grow up and you see how, people go through 1, 2, 3, 4 more divorces, where they just live together for some time, then they separate and move with someone else. There's actually no structure and stability, and ultimately it is really, a lot of these things are just founded on, even though there's a desire in the heart to find a person with whom I can connect and find shelter, security, or give shelter and security to. But it often just turns into this perpetual kind of, like what's being said here, sexual relationship or hunt for that kind of life. And, the man, I would say in general, the man is probably more lusty than a woman, although Vedic texts, it says the opposite for different reasons. But then you have ladies who understand this, and then they utilize that propensity to attract a man. We've seen that, I don't know if we spoke about it before, but sometimes you see like a chaste young lady, but as soon as she realizes she needs to get a man, next thing you know, there's all kinds of makeup and short skirts and going out, and you're like, but what is that? That wasn't there before, but now, no, I need a man, or I need a person. So utilizing that energy to attract another person, and the ultimate idea of love is much more focused and based on something closer to the heart and closer to the soul, or directly in relation with God, rather than something for the purpose of trying to enjoy our bodies, Anyway, interesting readings in the old Puranjan pastime. Okay. So I think we'll conclude here, and lots of topic for discussion. So again, if you have any comments, you can put them below. So have a great festival season. It's coming up. We've got Jewel and Yatra happening this week, Balaram Jayanti, and then Janmashtami and Prabhupada and Srimati Radharani. So have a beautiful festival week, a beautiful festival month. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.